Hey there, today I want to talk about your fire number. So for those of you who don't know, FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And I would say the retire early part is definitely optional, but I like to use the FIRE as a little bit of a benchmark to really track my progress towards retirement. So, for example, how to find your FIRE number. So, first things first, let's imagine you're 30 and you want to retire at 50. So you've got 20 years left to retire or to save and invest for retirement. On top of that, the traditional retirement age is 67. Okay, so you have 17 years until you can start collecting any social security benefits. Okay, and then on top of that, typically, I think the average retirement lasts 30 years. So maybe you'll die around 97. I mean, dying at 97 is a pretty great life, so that's fine. But on top of all of that, you've actually been out of the workforce for 47 years. That is a long time, right? So how are we accounting for all of that? How are we taking all these different numbers into it? So the first things first, I like to start and estimate what's my current spending. So let's say my current spending is 30,000. So these are my expenses. And based on these expenses, if I use a safe withdrawal rate of 4%, it means that my fire number is 750,000, right? But this $30,000 is in 2023. This is 2023 money, right? But I'm going to retire in 2043. So in 2043, I actually need to have this 30K. Let's account for inflation. So we're just going to assume that inflation is 3%, right? You can make your other guesses when you do your calculation. Then we're going to raise that to the power of 20. So in 20 years, that 30K is actually 30,000. Let me do it. 30,000 times 1.03 raised to the power of 20 is actually 5418. Let's just say 4. Okay, so if I take this number into consideration now, I actually need 30,000 times 1.03 to the 20. And if I take that number and I divide that by 0.04, my safe withdrawal rate, I actually need, let's just call it 1.4 million. Okay, so this is a very big difference, but I like this range. It gives us a target. This is on the lower end, on the higher end, and I think even if we get here or somewhere in the middle, I think that's still a good effort, right? Okay, so this is our target. This is the amount we want to have saved at 50. Okay, so that's the first step. But how did I actually come across this number? So I just used a random number here, but you actually need to look at your budget and you need to factor in, okay, what are my needs? Like living expenses, transportation, healthcare. You need to add that up, and that is going to go into this. Oops. You need to factor that in. You also need to factor in, like big things like vacations or like hobbies you may have. And when you're looking at that stuff, you also need to account for inflation again, like we said. But you need to have some wiggle room for that as well. And then of course, like big expenses like vacations or cars and that kind of thing. And of course, we know that, well, at least in my experience, a lot of people, when they are nearing to their retirement age, they like to then buy a car. So you got to factor that in, and they try to pay it off before they actually retire. So, factor that in as well into your account. But yeah, this is just a really quick thing to figure out, a quick video to figure out your how much you need to retire, and then I'll probably make another video about tracking that and all that good stuff. But let me know if you want to have a conversation about finding your own number. And yeah, that's it for now.